this is what we would like to do. We would like to then write an application that reads 10 grades, then displays the total, the average, the maximum, and the minimum of those numbers. Actually, you know what? We don't need to use an array for this, but I mean, because we're in the class of the content is the array, so let's do them with the array. But you know, if as a challenge, you can do it without arrays. So let's just do it with the arrays now. I'd like to read 10 grades and put them in an array. So obviously, I need to declare scanner, right? Scanner, and I'm using it this way because once I do it this way, I'm going to have the import automatically added. Let's call this input equal new scanner system.in. I need to declare the array, let's say as double, and let me show another type of declaration. As I told you, you know, the brackets, you can put them before, after, maybe you can put them like here. If you have noticed here, do you see this? This is an array of strings, and we can do it like this, or maybe we can do it another way, which is like this. Let's name them grades, and I'll put something like this. And then how many grades? 10, so we put 10. So this is another way to do it, which is okay.
This is a new idea, right?
This is a new?
New double. It's new.
I don't get your question. The question is about new. What is about this new?
What's the new double? What does it mean?
New double, that means we're going to prepare in this special variable grade that takes a lot of different elements at the same time, a new place in the memory when we can put 10 elements of type double.
Declare.
It's some sort of a advanced declaration. Because I'm declaring now this is an array, but I didn't specify the size. So what's the size? This is how I can specify the size and the data type of that. So once I have that, I need to write the loop to read the grades, right? So for press tab, and when you press tab, you have all these things. You can just give it as I don't need to change it, so I press tab again, and then the maximum is 10. Well, I don't need to change it anymore, so just press enter.
Before the loop, you must declaration all the variable
Okay. So you're saying that before this I should declare all the other variables, which are like the total and the average and minimum and maximum, right? Okay, I should put these all as 0. So I initialize them as 0, and then why? Because if I put in my grades to be double, the total of those grades should not be int, because I might lose some information if I put them as int. Yes. Why? Well, for total I have to, because I need to total equal total plus and the number. So I need to start from something. So the first value that cannot make any difference and not change the calculations is that when I'm summing, I put 0 as the first value. But for the rest, for example, I don't need this for now, because this average is not going to be used as average is equal average something plus something and divided by something. So I don't need to put the initial value actually for this average. But it's always a good idea to always initialize your variables with some value. What kind of value that might not be disturbing? Well, in this case, 0. But for the others too, well, I need to initialize them as zeros, because this is how we are going to be looking for the maximum. We start from the 0, which is the first element in the array, and then we compare the first with the others, and then if they're different, we're going to be doing some processing. But for the average is the only one that doesn't require really any initialization. But for the rest, they have to be initialized because I'm going to use them. How am I using them? Well, let's see. For example, I'm going to read the grades. So the grades of I'm going to put something that comes from the user. So let's have this next double. So once I have this, then the total is equal total plus grades of I. So this is actually means total equal total plus grades. So I'm going to say, look what's inside of total, add to it grades. What's inside of total? If I don't put anything here, I would be having a problem. Look, it says variable total might not have been initialized. I'm using total, I'm saying, look, so what's inside? Did I put something inside? I didn't. So this total have to be initialized, right? So I have to put an initial value. So if I don't put an initial value, I'm going to be in trouble because it's not going to be working. And the initial value is 0 because 0 plus anything, it will not disturb whatever it is. So it's not going to be affecting negatively the calculations. Did I answer your question? Okay, so once I have the grade, I have now the total is calculated right away. What should I do now? Sorry? Well, yes, I forgot to put the output here. I should have put it here. Please enter grade number. So yes, I did something like this because I would like to display grade number 1, grade number 2, and grade number 3. So it's going to be easier for us to follow up. So look at what I'm going to be doing and tell me if this is okay with you. And let's put like print instead of print line, so it's going to be.
But the problem is you're going to start with 0.
Yes, that's a problem. Another thing is, actually, I just realized that I was not using the best way in my loop. You see this 10? Now if I would like to change it, because to test this, I don't want to be entering 10 numbers. Let's test this with 3 numbers, for example. Now I have to change this to 3, or else I'll be having a problem. What I should do, use the dot length. So that would be a better way. So grades dot length. So then I don't need to think about this anymore. If I change something the size here, everything is going to be updated here correctly. So if now I'm doing something like this, let's run this just to see. It will say enter grade 0, grade 1, grade 2. That doesn't make a lot of sense because there's no grade 0. Actually, this is the position 0. So how to fix this?
Put equal grade length and start with 1. Start with 1.
No, if I start with 1 from here, I'm going to skip 1, or maybe, as you said, yeah, okay, doing something like this and put the equal sign, and then in this one I got -1 or -1, but then I have to always keep using -1 in all these, which is not. There's a better way. Let me show you the better way. Just do something. This I, just add 1 to it. It was 0, make it 1, display it. It was 1, make it 2, display it. 3, make it 3, 2, make it 3, display it. So now if I'm seeing something like this, I'm going to say please enter the grade number 1, grade number 2, grade number 3, which is better for the user to understand and to follow up. So, but this is just to explain to the user what do we expect from him, so the user can, you know, follow up with us and understand what is expected from him to do. And you can do something more interesting by saying something in the beginning. This program actually this do this and that and this. This program displays calculates and displays the total, average, mean, minimum, and maximum of 10 grades, but not always 10. So what I should do, let me just do something like this, plus I can have in 2 lines of, I can do something like grades dot length, and then plus numbers, the space entered by the user. So if you really want to do something really professional, then you might be doing something like this. So when I run my program, it shows something. This program calculates and displays the total average. Okay, let's stop and start again. Calculation displays the total average, minimum and maximum of 3. Well, there should be numbers entered by the user. Please enter grade 1, or instead of numbers, maybe grades. So now this is going to become more understandable for the user. He knows exactly what this program is all about, and this is a better way than just enter a number. What for? But we know what we're doing, so we don't usually do that. But it's better to have this idea. Okay, so now we got the 10 or 3 values given by the user, and then we put them in the array, and then we calculated the total. What needs to be done is
find the average.
Minimum and
find the average, or minimum and maximum. Well, if we have the total, we can display the total at the end. After we finish, we can do something like this. The total is total of the grades is, and then I can put total. The average, I just need to calculate that, is equal to total divided by grades.length, and then I don't need to think about it. And then same thing, I'm going to just probably copy. Copy and paste. The average of the grades is then average. Now let's just stop this and run again. And I can see now if I put the grades, it's in the total of the grades is, the average of the grades is whatever. So now how to find the minimum and the maximum? We need to put the code of it, and we need to use those ones. So how to do that? What should I do now? Maybe use another 4. Okay, so let's put another 4. I type 4 and then press enter. I press tab again, and then after the tabs I type grades.length, and then if grade
I is smaller than grade.
If I is smaller than grade length. Why are you asking this question?
No, but max is greater than
If max, what do we want to do? What do you want to do? First of all, we need to compare the first element with the second element, right? So the first element, what is it?
Minimum.
Grade of 0. This is the first element, and the maximum is what? We assume that the maximum is grade of 0, and then we need to compare it with grade of 1, right? So this is something that we need to start not from 0 then, but from 1. And then we compare grade of I, which is the position starting from 1 at this time, with grades of max. But then there's a mistake. Let's deal with that later. If this is the case, oh no, this is not the way. If the grade of I is greater than the maximum, that means this maximum that I had is not really the maximum. Now this one should be the maximum. But we have an error mistake here. It says incompatible type, possible lossy conversion from double to int. So there's a problem.
The max is double and the I is int.
The max is double and the I is int, and that's why we have that problem.
Yeah.
So what should we do? Put them all double?
Change I into double.
Actually, if we change I2 to double, we still make things even worse. It will not help. Actually, now we have two problems. See, not only one, we have two. But if I put it back to int, I have only one problem, because only one of them now have this problem. Because this is int, this is not the problem, but this is a problem, because we said that inside the brackets we cannot put anything else except int. And now I'm putting a double, because I just declared them as double. So this min and max, they should not be double. They have to be int. Now as soon as I declare them as int, no problem anymore. Do you get it? Every time, if you use something between the brackets, it has to be int. If it's not int, you have problems. So this is then how it should be for the maximum. Let's just make sure that it works, and let's see something like the maximum is, and then what should be the maximum? Max? Yes? No? Let's try. So we enter the grades 5, 8, 88, okay, and 7. So the maximum should be? Oh. The maximum of the grades is 1. Why is it 1? We never entered 1.
Max is initialized.
So because max is?
Initialized with a 1.
What max was initialized with 0, and now when we display max, it shows us 1. But we don't. What is this 1? What this 1 means? We never entered 1. So what this 1 is all about?
Because it's wrong. Because it's wrong.
The value of I? No, the value of max. 1 is the value of max.
Then this, I think.
But this, what you want to say, is the value of the index. Yes. So it's the value of the index, which means this is the position where the maximum is. This is position 0, position 1, position 2. Actually, this is the position of the maximum, not the maximum. If you would like to have the maximum, we need to do grades of max. Now, this is going to display the maximum. If we type like something that was before, now it's going to display the maximum is. Okay, so don't get confused. So the max is just the position of the maximum. Grade of max, this is the value of the maximum. Okay? What about the min now?
The same thing.
Copy and paste, right? We can just copy, paste, format. Always just use format. I'm just using the shortcut for it. So it will. So if things are messed up, it's going to help us have that. So we do the same, except now we look for the min, and if one of the i's is less than the minimum, then the minimum should be that I. And copy and paste again. Now minimum is grade of min. And you see, incrementally, you always start step by step. Don't try to do everything at once, because you have too many problems, and then it might not work for you. So now if I try it again with the same numbers, 5, let's say, and 88 and 7. So 88 is the max, 5 is the minimum, and then everything works perfectly. There's only one minor thing, is that can this be improved? I have like, okay, here like 3, 4 loops, which means I'm repeating. In this case, because I have only 3 numbers, but if it was 10 numbers, I would have been repeating like 10 times, 10 times, 10 times. That means, 30 repetitions, 30 iterations. Let's do something. What happens if I do something, move this, for example, here? Is it going to be okay? And remove this one?
Yeah. It's okay.
I'm just having 2 positions that I'm looking for. Position from the minimum, position from the maximum. And once I look for the minimum, after that I look for the maximum. This is what I've been doing separately. I can join them and do them together. Look for the maximum, look for the minimum, and then go ahead. Look for the maximum, look for the minimum, keep comparing. And this is something that is permissible. Let's try that and see if it's really working. But now we have 10 grades. I'm not sure that I have the patience of having 10 grades. Let's just put 3 again. Let's stop this one, yes. And let's run, still running. Let's run again. 3 numbers again, 5, 88 and 7, and still it is working the same way. But now, instead of repeating so many times, it repeats a little bit less. Can we improve it more? Yes, we can.
If you put the 4 inside the first 4.
All this, put it there. What happens if I put all this there? But before putting it, I just would like you to realize that these are not exactly the same for loops. There's a minor difference between this one and this one. This one starts from 1. This one starts from 0. But now what happens if I put it as 0, is it still going to work? Yes, it's still going to work. Why? Actually, let me just go back to here. The one when we were looking at this score and the array processing, and this is probably this one. If I'm starting here, look, if I was starting from maximum is 0 and I was starting from 1. What happens if I starts actually from 0? I'm going to compare score of 0, 80. Is it greater than score of max, 80? Yes. Well, no, because they are not, I mean, these are not greater than, so it's not going to do anything. I'm just going to skip and then go I, make it 1 now. Now I'm going to compare max 0 with I is equal to 1. Now it's going to start actually. It's just like it does something, some checking, and then the next one is where this is really going to start. So even if I put it back to this one 0, it will still work, except that, you know, it's not the best way for it to work. It can be improved better by just starting from 1. But if we would like to merge these two loops and reduce the repetitions, we might be able to, you know, it's okay. We can, for the first time, we're repeating some questions 2 times, but then because we don't repeat anymore, it's better than repeating 10 times. Well, we repeat only 2 times. So I can put them all together, and this will work as well. So I got the grades, I calculate the total, and then I check if it's the maximum, and I check if it's the minimum, and display the result of the end. 588.7, same result. Why am I showing you this? Actually, I just would like you to, whenever you have a problem, you try to solve it by, you know, steps. Once you solve it, regardless of if it is the best way or the fastest way, just make it work now at first. And then when you make it work, just for your own, you know, challenge, try to see if can I make it better in terms of reducing something, reducing the repetitions, minimizing the code. Just do something to improve the efficiency of your program. And if just you can do this, you will have this ability to, or this skill to be able to have different versions of the same program and be able to understand all of them. And this is, you know, something that is really interesting for you to be able to be doing as a programmer. Is this okay for this exercise?